Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Ed, and Eddy, the Mis-Edventures for the Sony PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and Xbox. Since the last video... Yes, Ed. Since the last video, I have picked up 300 coins. Why did I pick up 300 coins? Because that's exactly how many I need for the last two Jawbreakers, which are in the vintage gumball machine. No, the gumball. Wow, I cannot say things to save my life. Again! The vintage Jawbreaker machine. We have to go to that to get the last two Jawbreakers, and we will get a 100% game completion. However, if I did just that, this video would be only 5 minutes. Or something. Well, maybe 8 minutes. So, because of that, I'm going to show off the Easter eggs. I've already shown off all of the Jawbreakers that we picked up in Rebel Robot Ranch. Or Robot Rebel Ranch. When we got through this. When we got through that. And why am I even picking up coins? I don't even need them anymore. Good grief. Okay. Let's switch to Double D. And let's get the last two Jawbreakers. We have Mexico.
This should work.
And we have Japanese.
This should work.
And the game doesn't do anything special if we reach 100%. So we should have 100% now. We do. Let's go ahead and look at the Jawbreakers. The last two. Look at all those Jawbreakers. Just 8 videos ago, we had almost nothing here. Now we have everything. Mexico. I want to be a piñata. Japanese. Tastes like sushi. And that's it. That's the last of the two things that we need to get 100% completion for this game. You're probably wondering how I got 300 coins. I went back to Scam 6 because, as I have said before, you can get the most coins over there. You don't even need to complete the level. All you have to do is just go through the first outdoor section with all the pink flamingos and all the crates and all the puzzles that you have to do. Make it to the exit of that. Then quit the level and go back until you have 300 coins. Believe it or not, if you quit a level in the middle of it, the game does save all the coins that you picked up to your memory card. It does save it to your save game file. So, just go through the whole first section of Scam 6, destroy everything, get all the coins you can, which is going to be a heck of a lot for just for the first section alone. Quit the level, go back, and just keep exploring and destroying things until you get 300 coins. Or however many coins you need. In my case, it took me less than an hour. Anyway. Easter eggs. I said I would show them off, otherwise this video would be 8 minutes long. So, I'm going to turn Big Head mode on. And I'm going to view the Plank movie. If I can view the Plank movie. Oh, I don't even need to wait for a level to load. Well, at least we can see the Ed boys' heads more now. I mean, it's kind of jarring at first when you see these guys in 3D, but at least they look as close to their 2D counterparts as they can. Despite the cell shading and the animation on said cell shading. I wonder. Yeah, you would have to go to the movie booth to look at the 3 movies. What happens if we do small head? Let's see what happens. Well, now they look weird. Like they just have oversized bodies now. And Ed has more of a neck than usual. As unsettling as your first view of these guys is in 3D, when you see them in the game for the first time, this is even more unsettling. Double D looks even smaller than he usually does. I don't know if it's the shirt that he's wearing. It probably is. Maybe it's the camera angle, but his head looking really small makes it look like he's far away from us here when he isn't. Let's go ahead and turn off small heads and put on the... Well, I guess I'm going to have to load a level now, but that's okay. At least that stopped. And if I were to go to a level, I'll just go ahead and go to level 1 here, just to show off the spacesuits. I'll go ahead and load up level 1, because it's so close to me here. Just let this level load, and then we'll see everybody in the spacesuits. And it's the spacesuits from Robot Rebel Ranch. We can now wear these in all the other levels in the game. Never really got to show off Ed that much in the spacesuit. Seems to fit in well with the others. And might as well go ahead and stop listening to Jimmy sing. And we have cheats now that we have everything done. And we've completed the game 100%. Unlimited stealth makes the whole stealth part from... what level was it? I believe it was the second one. It was either the second one or the third one. Whichever one has you going for the free jawbreaker. For the free jawbreakers. And Eddy has the allergic reaction to the jawbreaker tainted with foot powder. With unlimited stealth on, you don't have to worry about hiding from anybody in that one stealth section where you had to get Eddy with the allergic reaction away from everyone and back home as quickly as and as discreetly, I wouldn't exactly say quickly, but I would say discreetly as you can. Unlimited damage, pretty much what it says on the 10, it's unlimited hit points. You turn that on, you don't have to worry about losing energy ever again. Pits can still kill you, so don't fall in the pits. I think that's how it works. No. Hold on. Well, I can't show it off here because there aren't any enemies. Okay, I got that wrong. Apparently, if I remember correctly, either it's that or you get to be able to do one-hit kills on all enemies. Of course, it still takes the same amount of damage to defeat the cankers in the boss fight at the end of Scam 6. And Fast Run...
Look, guys! There's a cooler by Jimmy! You finally have
let you do this.
Your head, Ed. Come on, Lumpy! Show that cooler who's boss!
So, just to recap, unlimited stealth lets you get away from all the kids during that one part where Eddy has a violent reaction to the tainted jawbreaker without any effort whatsoever. Fast Run is the fast run. And unlimited damage just lets you destroy all enemies in one hit no matter what. I believe that's how it works. I just remember that I got on GameFAQs and had to look it up. Because I don't see myself showing unlimited damage off in any way. And I'm going to go ahead and deactivate the spacesuit and go back to the cul-de-sac. And if it shows it off, I will mention it. I will mention what it is. Gotta pay attention. It didn't show it off, though. It does show it off when you load a game for the first time. Believe it or not, when the Ed Boys are loaded into the game for the very first time, like when you power the game on, you go through all the copyright stuff, and then you load your game, the Ed Boys are actually in a T-pose. And they come out of it within a couple frames when the gameplay screen is fading in from black. I noticed that while I was editing, and I might as well go ahead and share that information with the rest of you. Just putting that out there. We're now back at the cul-de-sac. Did I leave? I'm pretty sure I left fast run on. Let us turn fast mode off. There we go. Now we can go to the movie booth and see if we can look up the other 3 movies. We already saw the recording one. That was the one where you saw the voice actors for Ed, Ed, and Eddy. The 3 Ed Boys. Let me see if I can get the other ones. Well, there's voice recording again. I showed that off in the last video. You can watch that if you want to watch that again. Let me see if we can go back. Or maybe we have to find another movie booth. If I go through here again, will I get the same ones? Okay, that one just gives us the voice recording again. So now I'm going to have to wait for this to record, not record, but to load all over again. And then we're going to have to find the other movie booth somewhere. So there's one on near Rebel Robot Ranch. There's the second one.
I knew what to buy for you on your birthday. Our friendship goes against the grain. I've seen you swell up in the rain. I saw you, didn't see your pain. Was it termites? It's never hard to talk to you, though you stump me with your silence. I feel so naughty pining here for your happy face's guidance. My best friend Plank, my best friend Plank, my best friend Plank. Sitting there so silently, what could you be thinking? You're not saying I won't X, is that sealant that you're drinking? Man, your hammer nailed you, pal. Al Gore's wife's name is Tipper. I knew we'd be best friends for life when I saved you from that chipper. My best friend Plank, my best friend Plank, my best friend Plank. Ooh, Plank, count the rings, count the rings. Ooh, Plank, count the rings. I'll walk you on the 7 seas, where sawdust always makes me wheeze. I met your mom and dad, the trees, but please don't get Dutch elm disease.
Well, that was something. If you unlocked the Plank video, you go to that movie booth to watch that. Now we need to find the other movie booth. And I need to see where that is. I would like to know where that is. It looks like it's going to be somewhere else. Maybe it'll be here. Wonder what happens if you do this another time.
My, intriguing.
You have all the vintage jawbreakers. Okay, so the game does tell you, hey, you found everything. At least the game is nice enough to tell you this. Once you've picked up the Japanese jawbreaker. Now there should be a third movie booth. And it should be somewhere around here, I think. Yep, it's right here. I think we get the unlockable commercial if we unlock that and then go through here.
Loved by millions.
Ain't it dreamy?
Ready for adventure.
It's the end!
Ed, Double D, and Eddy.
I just want to hug that little loudmouth one.
Starring in their own video game. Ed, Ed, and Eddy, the Mis-Edventures.
Dorks.
In this tag team adventure, switch Eds on the fly to take advantage of their unique abilities. When you need raw strength, Ed can give you a lift. Or use his head. When you need brains, Double D can make things go. And in a pinch, he can pull out his trusty slingshot. Eddy can usually scam his way out of any situation. And when he can't, there's always the El Mongo Stink Bomb. Sometimes one Ed is not enough.
We, the Eds, are about to attempt the most daring feat the world has ever seen!
Use the Batter Ed to break through obstacles. Use the Trample Ed to extend your reach. And use the Tower of Eddy when extreme stealth is called for.
Welcome to Club Ed!
Get ready to enter the world of Ed, Ed, and Eddy in a fully interactive way.
Hey, look!
The same distinctive art style.
Looks like fun!
All the slapstick humor you've come to expect.
What are you doing?
You'll be a clubhouse. And of course, the entire cast. Yes, even the Canker sisters.
Pirates!
Ed, Ed, and Eddy. The Mis-Edventures. Coming October 2005. This title not yet rated.
That was good, Eddy.
Whatever.
It's funny, every time I get some footage about a game that for PS2 that I play on this channel, they always show pre-final version footage. The 3 Sly Cooper games did this. The ones that were on PS2. Ratchet & Clank, the very first one, also did this. You also got to see some pre-final footage if you got to look at the making of videos on that. And this one was no exception. The coins looked different in that trailer compared to what we saw in the final version. Also, all the action took place in one level, which was, again, the one where the Eds go for the free jawbreakers. I don't remember the poles near Johnny ever glowing when you got near them in Tower of Ed form. And I didn't know that you could mess with Jimmy's paintings. Like, maybe you could have been able to do it in the pre-final version, and that you can't do it here. I bet you can't do it here. But if somebody were to see this video and be like, oh, hey, you can go up to the paintings and press triangle on them while playing as Eddy, just like in the trailer, and you can just mess with them. If someone would let me know, that would be great. But yeah, it was interesting that we were able to see the trailer for this game. We got to see some pre-final footage. And there's nothing else that I can show off. And it's time to bid adieu to the cul-de-sac. As frustrating as some parts of this game can be, I am gonna miss this. I mean, I kinda discovered Ed, Edd and Eddy when I was in junior high. And something about it just clicked with me, and I ended up liking the series. I guess it was just all the random humor just in the cartoon and what have you, and all the weird things Ed says, and the length that the Eds do to make things happen, like an obstacle course or a huge city made out of cardboard boxes stacked a mile high. You definitely get to see some of that in the game as well. You definitely get to see some of the game's trademark humor. You definitely get all the voice cast involved in the cartoon, involved in this game as well. It may not be the best game in the world, but it definitely encapsulates the feeling and the spirit of the show. It does that rather well. Anyway, I might as well go ahead and start the mini review. Graphics, they're alright. It's a little unsettling to see everybody in 3D at first, but you do get used to it. I do like that the cell shading is animated and moves just like the line art on the show. I can't believe they actually got that detail down, the developers. And I'm just amazed. It just, I mean, I'm guessing they were forced to make it 3D just to get it on the PS2 and maybe even the GameCube and the Xbox, but despite the leap to 3D, everything looks alright. Sound and music. If you've watched a show, and especially if you've watched a show to death, you know what to expect here. The music here is very, very Ed, and Eddy-like. I like that they were able to recapture that. I like that we have the entire voice cast, everybody doing the voices in the cartoon or doing it here in the game. I can't really complain much here either. Play control. It's responsive. It's tight. I had only a few issues with the camera, but I was able to deal with them with the right analog stick. It took me a while to get used to the difference between L1, R1, and R2. But I definitely got a little better as this game went on. Those were like the only real gripes that I had, and they're not really big gripes, but they're still complaints all the same. One of the things that I wish was handled a little better, I wish the game gave you a little bit of a hand in what to do next sometimes. Because you just have to look around, explore things with specific Ed with a specific Ed. And you have to wait for something to be highlighted green so that way you can be like, oh, I can use this Ed to interact with this thing. I may have to batter Ed this. I may have to press triangle on that with double D. There's a little bit of trial and error, and figuring things out on your own can be a little bit frustrating, but it can still be done. And replay value, once you beat this game, there's not really much to keep you coming back unless you're a really big fan of the show. And I mean a really big fan of the show. Other than that, once you get 100%, you've seen everything that there is. And would I recommend this game? I would. I definitely would. It's not perfect. It's not the greatest game in the world. What it does well. There are a few things that I wish this game did better, such as saying, hey, you need to do this to continue on with the level. The game does give hints, but it's mostly just how to perform a specific action and not much else. The game kind of leaves you to your own devices with exploring sometimes. And when you're playing some of the levels for the first time, it can be a little bit annoying. And it's a good thing that I played these levels before playing them for this Let's Play. Otherwise, I would have been noodling around far more longer than I would have. That also leads to another point that I just now remember that I need to bring up. Some of the scams, some of the levels, especially the later ones, are a bit long. Like, it starts out pretty short. First half of the game, can't believe I touched a mic earlier. The first half starts out with okay length levels, but 4, 5, and 6, they get a little long. Thankfully, they dial back on the length with the bonus scams that require the costume pieces. But the later part, the second half of the main game, a little long. And I know that you're doing a fetch quest for the cankers, and you're doing an obstacle course, and you're going through the trailer park for 4, 5, and 6 respectively. But I wish those 3 levels were just a little bit shorter. Other than that, the sometimes lacking, what's the word I'm thinking of? Things not being as intuitive they should be. That's what I meant to say. Just those 2 things in particular, the lack of intuitiveness and the length of some of the later levels, specifically the second half of the game. Aside from those 2 things, and the camera and some of the gameplay, especially with the stealth in that one scam, it's an alright game. I would recommend this. So, by all means, do give this game a shot. It may be for you, it may not. You may get a kick out of this, you may not. It's not the greatest game in the world, but what this game does, it does well. It's pretty much a video game extension of the Ed, and Eddy universe. It does what it does as adequately and as faithfully as it can. Again, there are a few flaws with the game. I've already mentioned them. But aside from those flaws, this game's alright. give this one a shot if you can. And now that I am done with my mini review, I am going to show the credits. Before we do that, Ed's game, Double D's game, complete. 100%. 40 jawbreakers, 6 Easter eggs, 6 costume pieces, and we only have 2 coins left over. As opposed to 1 with my initial pre-Let's Play save. And Eddy's game is obviously empty, but you can definitely tell they use some form of Comic Sans here or something. Also, the art for the title screen is always different every time you go to it. It's always some interior location in the series. Sometimes it's the hallway leading to some room in somebody's house, usually one of the Ed boys. Maybe it's one of the Ed boys' bedrooms themselves. Always an interior shot. And I might as well just go ahead and show the credits, which always show up when you complete Scam / level 6. Artificial Mind and Movement, A2M, Montreal, Canada. Which is interesting because if I remember correctly, this game was... Well, obviously this game was made in Canada, but I believe that Ed and Eddy was also worked on in Canada as well. The show was worked on in Canada, if I do remember correctly. A2Ms, they are sadly no longer with us. I believe they dissolved in 2010. Interestingly, the last game they worked on was Naughty Bear for PlayStation 3, which I do remember seeing previews of. Other than that, that's all I can really tell you about A2M. But I know they did other games. I know they did Naughty Bear for one, which is amazingly the last game they ever did. But other than that, I couldn't really tell you much. And when you're in the credits, you can use up and down to make the credits go faster or slower, or even make them go to a standstill, or even go in reverse. When we reach the end of the credits, I'll show that off. So, with this is the 7th and last of that set of PlayStation 2 games that I played before I decided to go get myself a capture device in the form of an Elgato Game Capture HD. There was Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. There was... What did I... Oh, yeah, that's right. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. There was Jak and Daxter, the first one. There was Sly 2 Band of Thieves. There was Ratchet and Clank. There was Sly 3. There was PK Out of the Shadows. And then there was this game. And now that I have created Let's Plays out of all those games, I want to right some wrongs. Because I've mentioned in the past that I want to remake Sly Cooper 1 and Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Simply because I was starting out with OBS on those two games. And me fiddling around and trying to figure stuff out, quality was not up to par, audio-visually, even though my commentary was par for the course. The audio-visual side of things, not all that good, just because of me trying to figure stuff out. I mean, I figured it out, like, pretty much near the end of Jak and Daxter, and I was able to carry that on to Sly 2, and then Ratchet and Clank, and then Sly 3, and so on and so forth. I felt like I never really did Sly 1 and Jak and Daxter justice. And because of that, I've wanted to go back and redo those, replay those again eventually. It has now come to the point where I'm going to say that eventually is now. So my next PlayStation 2 Let's Play is going to be... Oh, wow, the credits ended. Let me press up a few times. Or do I have the press down? I have the press down. Pressing down a couple times will make this go in reverse. If I keep pressing down that way, I can make this go even faster. It's amazing. And if I keep pressing up, I can slow this down. Take a good look at the names. And even get this to a standstill. And then make it go super slow. And then super fast. Which I do like. There are a lot of French names in here. Then again, this game was made in Montreal. So as I was saying, the next game that I'm going to do, PlayStation 2-wise, is going to be the redo of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, which I recorded back in the summer of 2020. It's now the fall of 2021. Summer, fall, somewhere in there of 2021. Oh, dear. Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen OBS do that. I will have to look at that. But yeah, OBS froze for like a couple seconds. That was weird. I did not know it would do that. That's awful. Well, as I was saying, next game that I'm going to do for PS2 is going to be the redo of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. And then I'm going to redo Jak and Daxter. And then I don't know what I'm going to do after that as far as Capture Device Let's Plays go. But I do know that I'm done with this one. So this has been Let's Play Ed, and Eddy, the Mis-Edventures. Hopefully I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be somewhere in between. Who knows? Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.